Hey, g'day everybody, it's Matt here from Matt Carves. Today we're going to carve female eyes like those ones. Now, I carved a female face last week. It was kind of like a general face, just going over a few things, just generally. But today we're going to concentrate on the eyes. It's pretty much the same as carving any eyes at the start. You want to carve sort of like the forehead out and then go and put that nose in, and just remember we're carving a female's nose as well, so it's kind of slimmer. It's got that kind of ski jump kind of thing, but I'm not going to carve that into too much detail. That will be in the next carving. So with this one we're just getting it ready to carve the eyes, and I want you to think about when you're carving eyes, it's not just about carving the eyes, it's about carving what's around the eyes. So the transition between the nose and the eyes and the eyebrows above the eyes, all of those kind of things play a part. Now what we're doing here is we are putting in a center line, always good practice, just to get those kind of eyes in the right place. And I just kind of sketching in the nose there. I will just quickly carve that nose, and so we can sort of like see how to carve the eyes. I'm not going to carve all of the nose. And when you're carving female eyes, that kind of area there goes up and over. Well, they do on my female eyes anyway, whereas you kind of like your male eyebrows are straight across. Now as we carve female eyes, you can sort of see me there, I'm going underneath the eyebrow. Now I often do this to do the male eyes as well, and I will do sort of like a sweeping curve underneath. Now the difference here is you kind of want to not go as deep with a female's eyes. And in saying all of this, this is my kind of technique for carving female eyes, so you might completely approach it differently, but I kind of think the female eyes aren't so recessed, so we kind of keep them a little bit more forward. And when I was talking about transitions, this one is a real nice one, that kind of like from the nose, side of the nose, down underneath the eye, and that kind of forms your eye mound. Okay, you can kind of see me doing that here. Now you want to do both sides kind of at the same time to create the eye mounds kind of very similar. And I don't worry too much about it if they are a little bit too big, because we can always make them smaller once we start putting in the details and the eyelids and all of those kind of things. Now I just pencil in where I kind of think the middle of the eye is, just to sort of give me a bit of a guideline, and then I might just define those kind of eyes a little bit more, but still with the idea that they will probably end up a little bit smaller anyway. And once we have got up to that stage, what we can move on to next is putting in sort of like upper details on the eyelid. And sort of see there I have changed to that bowl Burr. It's sort of kind of like gives a nice kind of angle to that top of the eye there. You can sort of see it there on the one that I've already done. That's what we're trying to achieve there. And we're going for, like I always put in sort of like, I guess you'd call them Cleopatra eyes to make them look a little bit more feminine. Now we're going to put in the top eyelid here, and you know, there's just so many different shapes of eyelids, but generally I feel like female eyelids show more on the eyelid as opposed to male eyelids. Now I'm putting in that bottom eyelid. You can sort of see the eye looks still way too big, but it's just a way of kind of like adjusting it. I'll put it in and then I'll probably take it out again, and just sort of like trying to get that the actual eye a little bit more spherical like. So I go in with a pencil and just try and draw in exactly kind of what I want. Now I'm just sort of shaping around the eye, just trying to get it to sort of like form a little bit more of a smaller mound there. It's looking pretty good. I always like that kind of thing where I make the eye quite big and then just reduce it until I'm kind of happy with it. Now you can always do the measurements in between the nose and over to sort of like that bit in between the nose and between the two eyes. That's sort of like the length of an eye as well. So look at it from the side profile, just see what kind of needs working. And I kind of feel like that inner pupil there needs to be rounded off, so let's do that. Now there's no kind of right or wrong way to do this. You just got to kind of find a burr that kind of fits into this kind of space. If you're doing a bigger carving, it might be a bigger burr. I've used the Kutzall taper burr for this, but what we're doing is just sort of like rounding off the eye there, and I'm also sort of like trying to get the bag under the eye looking a little bit better. Well, not the bag, but the eyelid. And what I'm using here is the Dremel wheel point burr, just trying to sort of like fine up the lines, trying to work out any little particular kind of areas. So we're a good kind of general burr, just it can kind of do everything. It's not great at putting in really sort of like cut lines, but you can sort of like take things back a little bit and smooth things off. And I always find when you do the spherical of the eyeball, then you have to go back and you have to match the kind of eyelids that are going over. You don't kind of want a real deep kind of recess between the eyelid and the eyeball. Now I'm just working on the kind of brow ridge above the eye. Just kind of wanted to make it kind of smooth. In males it's a lot more brutal. You've kind of got a real concave happening just under that part by the nose, but with females I tend to try and make it quite shallow and just smooth lines going out from the eye. It's looking pretty good. Now I'll tend to just draw in where I want the pupil, and that looks pretty good there. This is just a kind of like a practice piece, just to show you how to do it. Now I'm using the Dremel wheel point burr, and we're just going to put a small circle in that represents sort of like the iris of the eye. What I like about this Dremel wheel point burr is it's quite easy to control. It's just sort of like smoothly taking off the wood. It's a diamond burr, so we're not going to have any real major cutting or anything like that. Just slowly you kind of approach it, try and take out a little bit of the middle part as well. And what you'll find with this is you can't really define a real sharp edge because it's like a sphere. So what we can do is we can use this, and then we can go in with another burr and just really define those edges. Now I'm going to use a trumpet shaped burr for this, but you could also use a T-shaped burr for this as well. So the idea is with that kind of like sphere burr can't really leave a defined edge, I'm just going up to the edge just ever so gently and just forming a real sharp point around that circle part there. And then I'm just sort of like using the top of it to round off the actual pupil as well. Now we are going in with the wheel point burr again. Just put like a really light dot, just make sure it's in the right place, and then you can sort of like press heavier to form that sort of like nice black bit in the middle of your eye. Do a little bit more touching up. Now I kind of feel like female eyes are a little bit more wider than male eyes. Think about like your Clint Eastwoods and all of that. They're kind of like real kind of not quite open eyes. Well, it's quite different for a female's eyes. Yeah, and when I say female's eyes, I kind of mean this is kind of generically speaking. There's so much variation amongst eyes. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that now. So if you could hit that like and subscribe, that would be awesome. And we will see you in the next video. Good luck on those female carvings. We'll be doing the nose next time. Bye everybody.